October 28, 2019. Security researcher Vladimir Palant, creator of AdBlock Plus, installs the Avast online security browser extension and watches what it sends back. What he finds is not a security tool, it is a surveillance instrument. Every URL visited, the exact time, where the user came from, how many tabs are open, all transmitted to Avast servers, tied to a unique identifier that follows every session. Palant finds something worse. The Avast secure browser has this extension installed by default, hidden from the listing, impossible to remove by normal means. The product supposed to protect you is watching everything you do, designed so you cannot easily find the part that watches. Within 6 weeks, Mozilla removes 4 Avast and AVG extensions within 24 hours of being notified. Senator Ron Wyden calls out Avast publicly. Then Vice Motherboard and PC Mag publish. For 7 years, Avast sold this data through a subsidiary called Jumpshot to over 100 companies: Home Depot, Google, Microsoft, Yelp, Pepsi. The anonymization Avast claimed protected users was broken. Names and home addresses were passing through unredacted. Avast shuts Jumpshot down the day after Vice publishes. 4 years later, the FTC fines it $16.5 million. The browser extension is back in the Chrome store. Pavel Baudish writes the first Avast in 1988 after personally defeating the Vienna virus on an early PC. He and Eduard Kuchera form Alwil in Prague during the final years of communist Czechoslovakia. The product is free for home users from the start. Growth comes through word of mouth, from engineers who trust other engineers' work. The company is renamed Avast in 1992. By 2009, it claims 80 million users. By 2013, USA Today describes it as serving nearly 200 million users worldwide. The freemium model works. Good protection at no charge, with a paid tier for more. Avast does not grow through marketing budgets. It grows because people install it, it works, and they tell other people. Then comes the question that the brand's entire history makes possible. What is the commercial value of the data flowing through 200 million devices? Jumpshot is the answer. Avast acquires or establishes it as a subsidiary around 2013. Collection begins August 1, 2014. In July 2016, Avast acquires AVG for $1.3 billion, adding another 200 million endpoints and another browser extension product line to the pipeline. The combined entity has 400 million plus devices generating data for Jumpshot. In July 2017, Avast acquires Piriform, maker of CCleaner. In September 2017, 2 months after the acquisition, CCleaner suffers a supply chain attack. Hackers compromise the build pipeline. The official digitally signed download contains malware. 2.27 million users are infected. Avast owns the product when this happens. In May 2018, Avast lists on the London Stock Exchange at approximately $3.23 billion valuation, raising roughly $816 million. The IPO materials emphasize growth, scale, and security. Jumpshot is not a headline feature of the prospectus. The products: Avast, Online Security, AVG. Online Security, Avast Secure Browser, Avast Antivirus Mobile Security and Virus Cleaner, Avast Free Antivirus, and Avast Premium Security. The period: August 1st, 2014 to January 30th, 2020. Avast's free antivirus and Avast's paid premium tier both fed the pipeline. AVG's products fed it too after the acquisition. Security researcher Vladimir Palant, creator of AdBlock Plus, publishes his technical findings on October 28, 2019. The Avast online security extension transmits full URLs, page titles, referrer URLs, a unique user identifier, OS version, country, tab, and window identifiers, and millisecond-level timestamps on every page visit. He finds that the Avast secure browser has the same extension installed by default, hidden from the extension listing, impossible to remove by normal means. The architecture is not a bug. It is precisely what Jumpshot needed. Palant reports 4 extensions to Mozilla in early December 2019. Mozilla removes them within 24 hours. Google removes extensions too. Senator Ron Wyden calls out Avast publicly. Avast's internal response, later published by Vice, shifts the data collection from the browser extensions to the antivirus software itself, using an opt-in framing. The pipeline was not going to stop, it was going to relocate. The anonymization Avast claimed protected users was confirmed broken by Palant's January 2020 analysis. URLs in the data stream sometimes contained email addresses, and the behavioral fingerprint was specific enough to re-identify individuals. What Avast called anonymized browsing data was, in practice, a near-complete record of personal online behavior. The regulatory record across 2 jurisdictions is the most complete official assessment of what Avast's privacy claims were worth. The FTC complaint filed February 20th, 2024 states that Avast sold consumers' browsing information to over 100 third parties without adequate notice or consent, while simultaneously marketing its products as protection against surveillance and data collection. The final order, issued June 26, 2024, $16.5 million, a permanent ban on selling or licensing browsing data for advertising, and a requirement to delete all Jumpshot data and all models derived from it. 103,152 consumer refund checks averaging approximately $148 each began arriving in February 2025. The Czech Data Protection Authority issued its own ruling on April 14, 2024. The finding: Avast unlawfully processed the browsing data of approximately 100 million users in 2019 under GDPR. The fine: 351 million Czech crowns, approximately $14.8 million. This is an independent finding from a separate regulatory jurisdiction using a separate legal framework. It reaches the same conclusion. Together, $31.3 million in fines. 2 independent regulators. 2 findings reached through 2 different legal frameworks in 2 different jurisdictions. One conclusion: what Avast described as anonymous and privacy safe was neither. NortonLifeLock acquired Avast for approximately $8.1 billion in September 2022. The Jumpshot history, the pending FTC case, and the Czech DPA investigation were all part of the asset at that valuation. The company is now Gen Digital. Trusting Avast in 2026 means trusting Gen Digital. Avast 1, the current product, is technically excellent. A V-test certified it in the top tier in 2025. A V-comparatives maintained its certifications. The detection engine is effective. This has not changed. In July 2024, 4 years after the Jumpshot shutdown, Vladimir Palant publishes a follow-up analysis of Avast's secure browser. His conclusion: the current architecture still warrants scrutiny. The technical capability for extensive data collection remains structurally present in the browser product. The FTC ban covers advertising targeted resale of browsing data. It does not prohibit collecting it. The Avast online security and privacy extension is currently active in the Chrome store and still collects URL-level visit data, user identifiers, browser type, OS version, and country. The pipeline from 6 years ago used the same kind of data from the same kind of extension. The community verdict in 2025 and 2026 is consistent across privacy forums, partially recovered in protection quality, not in trust. The default recommendation in privacy communities when someone asks whether to install Avast is still to uninstall it and choose an alternative with no equivalent history. Bitdefender and AirSet are the most frequently cited replacements. Windows Defender is the answer for users who do not want to identify any third-party vendor's access to their device. Avast built its brand on 200 million people choosing to trust it across 3 decades. That trust was the asset Jumpshot monetized for 6 years. The free antivirus that won users through genuine quality and word of mouth was, simultaneously, the delivery mechanism for a commercial surveillance pipeline that sold their browsing history to over 100 companies. The FTC and the Czech DPA both confirmed that the privacy claims Avast made to those users during that period were false. The protection is real. The history is also real. Both things are true. Avast is the proof of concept, 6 years of selling your browsing history while marketing privacy.